So let me just start there, Coach Kendrick. I want to ask you about this whole league and how it came to be. That's a nice looking ring there. I'm gonna have to ask you about that.
Yeah, please do.
I read up a little bit. Amarillo, Tascosa. Tascosa. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, the Rebels.
Yeah, I'll be out there in a couple of months. For a golf tournament.
Yeah, stop by Tascosa.
Yeah.
It's the biggest high school in Amarillo.
Yeah. So, but Coach, fellas, thank you for joining us, and really, I wanted to kind of be a part and learn a little bit, just like everybody else, that will see this, and learn a little bit about you guys, and get some information out. So, thank you guys for coming.
No, thank you for having us.
Coach, tell me about you, your background, and tell me about the ring.
Man, Kendrick Bryson, going into my 14th year of coaching. I'm blessed to have coached at the high school level and up, obviously, now to the pro side, not college, so don't let me misconstrue you there. But outside of that, I own my own basketball program, elite individuals, working with top-end athletes from the NBA, WNBA, down to our amazing kids and going from there. Blessed to be married to the most beautiful woman on this earth, my wife, and I'm not going to give her name because that goes into DMs. But then I have my kids, our 3 kids that we're blessed to have and rocking there too. So, man, this basketball thing it's been a blessing for me. It's been a blessing to me. When the option came to me from Miss Howard to take on the Severners and go from there, my biggest thing that I saw the vision was it was a bridge. I worked with a lot of pro athletes that were still venturing in the pro route and trying to get their foot in the door and see how the thing was going to work out. And when she offered it to me, it took some thoughts and some prayers and just going into it intentionally. And it really just bridged the gap between I work with these guys and now I can actually bring them to that level and make it real life for them.
The whole experience. So you come in, and a lot of coaches, especially new coaches, they've got to deal with different personalities. They've got to learn the team. But this was even more because it's a new league, a new team, right?
Yes.
I was interested to know, like, kind of your what was priority? Was it, creating a culture? Was it, some team bonding? Was it all about the wins? Or, what was your strategy when saying, okay, we're going to start from scratch, literally? How are we going to move forward and be successful?
Well, the TBL works in general wise, most people don't realize, like you just said, we literally built this team from scratch. And one of the biggest priorities for me and for us was culture. I can find a player anywhere that can put the ball in the basket and bring this Showtime situation or whatever, but we actually practice, and we practice very consistently, and we have a pretty rigorous schedule, if I'm being honest with you. But with that being said, it's not just about going to get a win, going to get a bucket. Now, is winning a priority? Yes, don't get me wrong. I love winning. I hate losing. But if you build the right culture with the right group of guys, the winning will take care of itself.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. I was hoping you said that, to be quite honest. I been around quite a few teams and seen how teams progress, and maybe they're not the most talented, but that culture, that buy-in, that family, that the Rockwall boys soccer teams over here, but the girls last year, they were underdogs like all the way through the playoffs. But I remember going to a game and just watching like this family, the culture that they had. It was the last district game they had, and they go all the way to the state championship game, and like, no, they weren't even supposed to be there. Like, they weren't and that culture, that buy-in is what got them there.
That's
so
true.
you got to go on that. So you've been in this league for a couple of years now, Coach. What do you enjoy about it? What's kind of different from some things that you've seen?
The newness of it every year is what I've enjoyed in the last year and this year. Again, like you're building this team from scratch. So the time that you got to get these guys together, we have a 3-month season. There isn't a whole bunch of time of soldiers gelling and true team chemistry, but it grows when you put the right group of guys together, right? So the newness on that side and just being able to see our guys that we've been blessed to be a part of their process to elevate them out of this league, because that's what the league is for. We are a fully professional league, but it is an exposure league. So we're looking to get all of our guys, obviously, to the top tier, which is NBA, G League. But like I tell all of our guys all the time, our job is to get them wherever God has them going. And if that's overseas, international, or here in the States or whatever, then that's where they're supposed to be. So that's my biggest joy with it is we can win all the games in the world and win all the championships, which we haven't done yet, which is coming soon. But all of our guys getting elevated out of here and promoted out of here, then we're essentially doing our job.
I wanted to ask you about this year's team and what excites you about this team this year?
What I love about this year's team so far, and again, we're only 2 games in, going into it this weekend will be 4, is our attitudes, the vibes that we have in practice, the work ethic, the consistency that we have. And again, it's not perfect by any means, but we're 2 games into it, and it's a similar feel as it was last year because we're on the same route that we started the season off with as far as record wise, but it's not the exact same the same expectation. There were some moments last season that it kind of got away from us a little bit, but this year's team, I think we have a good group of guys that we're starting this thing out with that are going to put the pieces together. It's like I was telling my assistant, if you go buy a puzzle and leave it on the table, then you can't complain that you never got the puzzle put together. But it's our job as coaches, and then after we've done our job as coaches, it's the players' jobs to allow the pieces to stay together. And I think we have the right group of guys this year to make that thing happen.
It's a 13-week season. I mean, it's quick. I mean, yes. It comes fast and furious, you know. And I'm only thinking of this because you mentioned, you know, just how quickly it comes. What's the, you know, what does it take as a professional? And I should be asking them, but you know, to be able to turn the page that quickly, because before you know it, it's week 4, and maybe you've had 2 bad weeks in a row.
Yes.
But you know, I mean, you know, you're dealing with older guys that have been through it. Probably played really high basketball in high school and things like that, college. You know, how do you get through to players at this level?
Well, between last year and this year, the thing is that we were really young last year. Like I'm not going to say that we were the youngest team in the league, but we had a lot of rookies last season, and this year we're more experienced. And we brought back some guys from last year, and we've obviously been able to elevate some guys out of here and some other guys with some other directions, which is positive and great for them in their career. But it's thick skin. It's thick skin. You got to be able to flip that switch and get to the next day. We started out last weekend, and again we lost. We lost one that we should have got, and then we played in less than 24 hours. And we don't have time to sit here and complain and talk about how we're going to figure this thing out. We know what we're supposed to do. And we came in and we did that for X amount of minutes the second day, but we didn't do it consistently. And that's why we end up losing this our second game of the season as well. So, again, it's thick skin, maturity. Honestly, your work will show. If you haven't been putting in the work, then that back-to-back game, and we have a triple header that'll be coming up in a few weeks, you're not going to be ready for it. Us as coaches and as surely players, that if you're not putting yourself in that situation to be ready, because again, you look at some guys on our first game of the season last week that they played pretty consistently, and then you look at the second game, some of those guys didn't see the floor very much at all, because again, it's obviously situational. So if you're sitting over there in your emotions and your feelings, which aren't real anyway, then you have a better chance of not really sitting over there, but you're going to be sitting in the stands soon, because you'll lose your job. So it's really just thick skin and knowing that where we're at right now is where we're at, but we got to get ready for tomorrow when we get to tomorrow. Yeah, it can be tough. It's tough.
I want to get to some of the players. You know, I'll start with Oscar down at the end. Coach, did you say food? Is he the team cook, or what am I missing here?
No, I was just getting
all right. Oscar, thanks for joining us, and you know, I'm excited to kind of get to know you. Can you let people know about, you know, who you are? I'd like to know, you know, kind of a position you played, and then kind of your background, just a quick summary on it if you could.
Oh, okay. Thank you for having us and having me. Oscar Howard. This will be my rookie season. I played playing basketball all my life. I had a couple of injuries that kind of set me back for a little bit. I had to really work hard to get over that mentally, physically, and emotionally. And I had a good support system to help me through that. So when I got to the point where I was ready to start playing, you know, I started trying for teams and playing.
Are you from the area?
No, sir. Well, I'm actually originally from Dallas.
Okay,
Well,
all right.
Fort Worth, actually.
Oh, okay, I'm from Fort Worth. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
Yeah. I grew up around Everman, so
Okay.
yeah.
I know where that's
But
at.
sorry to interrupt.
No,
yeah.
no, you're good. So yeah, I've been playing. I've been pursuing multiple things. Basketball and then firefighting is one. So I have that on my back burner. So I've been, trying to just keep myself busy, doing everything that I can to be successful. Again, I had a great support system, and then I started trying out for teams. Kind of got down on myself because I kind of felt like no one gave me a chance, and then I finally came across this team, and I got my opportunity. And once I got my opportunity, I took it.
Yeah.
And now that I'm here, I'm doing the best that I can to put myself in the best position as possible to be successful and also be an asset to this team, right? So, but the position I play is shooting guard, point guard, back and forth, just wherever they need me to be.
Yeah, that's a. I think if you look at teams, especially when you're coming in, if you equate it to a freshman or something like that, coming in, you're just trying to find your role and trying to help out in any way you can and things like that, and find your way. It's fighting through adversity. I mean, you talk about injuries and just finding your way and then getting that opportunity. So many kids, that's an important message is take advantage of the opportunities.
Yeah.
I mean, because they're at the moment they may seem like it wasn't a big deal, but then when you look back, you're like, man, I should have taken that.
Yes.
I should have done that. So good stuff. Appreciate it, Coach. If you could just kind of expand on Oscar and coming to the team this first year.
Well, man, the funny thing is, speaking of injury-wise, like he's actually coming off our injury reserve list right now. So he just got released by the doctors late last week. So we're keeping him obviously moving on the court in practices and in pregame workouts, and soon, within probably the next couple of weeks, will make his actual physical debut on the floor, boys. But I could go on and on about him and who he is as a player, who he is as a man. Super trustworthy, super reliable on the court. From where I've seen him start at up until this point now, is literally just like night and day. It's completely black and white because the confidence level has gotten there. The comfortability level has gotten there. The level of not needing other people to reassure him and give him the words of affirmation that he should be there. It's the thing about carving out. I'm supposed to be here. Like I'm supposed to be sitting in this chair right now, and you're supposed to be standing. And
even though y'all are way
if it wasn't supposed to be that way, it wouldn't be, right? So. I'm excited to see him in real life action with the guys and see what that looks like on the floor. As a rookie wise coming in is different because his thought process can be, I'm just trying to stay here. But we don't need that. We need him to be valuable on the floor and not just trying to keep a job. So I'm excited to see what that looks like when that time does come real soon.
I'm interested, just really quickly, is it a draft? Is it kind of a free agency kind of deal? Like, how does a player get on a team?
So the TBL has a draft combine in Indiana about a month before the season starts, and that's all the players able to go out there and work out at the combine and be drafted at the actual draft. But outside of that, there is pretty much, like you said, free agency. If we see or feel that somebody could be of value to our team, obviously go through the background process, and then we can sign them immediately and go from there. But there is a draft. There is a legitimate draft.
Man, Oscar, hey, wish you all the best, man. Good luck this season, and wish you all the best in health-wise and everything. Let's switch over, Poncho.
Yes, sir.
Poncho. We're gonna learn your real name, and we're gonna. That's the name we're gonna use when we start sending out information. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Kind of your background. What position. What your role is on the team.
Okay. First off, I'm from Alexandria, Louisiana.
Okay.
Small town, central Louisiana. I played point guard, shooting guard. Actually played overseas a couple years. I played in Mexico. My rookie year, I played in Costa Rica. And Rockwell picked me up last year. Towards the end of the year, we were making a playoff push. We had some success last year. And my role on the team, I feel like coming back as a returner is just to try to be more of a leader this year. We got a lot of new guys, a lot of rookies, and so my job is just kind of like coach them up a little bit, and help them along the way, let them know, it's a good league. It's a great opportunity, you know, and we just trying to win, you know.
Yeah.
The exposure that you kind of get, you know, is that, you know, what we're pushing, exposure. I've listened to an interview today, and exposure.
Yeah.
You know, what drives you to the league? You know, what made that phone call or, you know, that opportunity worth taking?
Basically, just the opportunity to play professional basketball in America, you know, because this is not a semi-pro basketball league, it's professional basketball.
Right.
So the opportunity to play professional basketball in the States and, you know, get paid to play basketball, it was just attracting me to come and play, you know. 'Cause like I said, we get paid for it. It's not professional.
Yeah, Coach, can you just kind of elaborate a little bit on, you know, excuse me, Poncho, and let me get over my word
Poncho.
mix-ups.
So the funny thing is, when he actually came to us last year when we were going through a roster shift, I walked out of practice that same day. I told our assistants, I was like, I really don't like him. Like, we don't have to have him. I said, he's good. Don't get me wrong. He can play the game of basketball at a high level. I said, like, I don't feel that we have to have him. And he ended up coming back, I think, the next day for practice again. And honestly, he authentically, organically grew on me, just his personality.
Mm-hmm.
Like the game of basketball for him is easy, like as it is for almost every pro. You're a pro, but what he brings to our team, I would label Poncho as probably one of the most finessed finishers in the league. It's hard to guard him. Like I'm serious. Like being left-handed is hard in general wise. But I remember the game, our second game on a Sunday. I don't know who it was on the opposing team, but they said that he couldn't shoot, and I'm standing like right there, and he hit one, and then he hit another one, and then he turned around and hit another one, and he said something to their bench, and I'm like, you can keep labeling him not a shooter if you don't want to, because if you watch his film and you watch him for a while and you know him, like he really does go downhill a whole lot. So the value he brings to our team at the point guard role, but also being able to universally use him X positions, X where too, it's tough.
Yeah.
Like it's a super beneficial for us, and he was one of the obviously having him come back this year was super key, and we're glad that he accepted the offer.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, you gotta whatever your role is on the team, it's just like you said. I mean, but you gotta love it when the crowd's talking or the opposing team's talking, and you just
Definitely.
you just putting in work and let speak for themselves. So good luck to you this year. Thanks for coming on, Garrett. Let's switch over to you. Obviously, just kind of like they did, you know, can you tell us kind of a little bit about yourself, your background, and what brought you to the Severners?
Yeah, of course. My name's Garrett Brockman. I'm from Amarillo.
Okay.
And I went to Amarillo High.
Okay.
And so this man likes to say Tascosa.
Okay, gotcha.
Look, it's a rivalry.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're the better ones. But, you know, it is what it is. He can have
Who went further in the playoffs this
opinion.
year in high school?
Come on. You know who did.
It wasn't Amarillo High.
Yeah.
Well,
Anyways,
Yeah.
it's hilarious, right? In like 8th grade, Kendrick coached me in AAU before, way before this. And back then, like I played soccer for like 10 years, really hard, and then I kind of switched to basketball. And so I was not the best basketball player at that point. But yeah, it's just kind of funny that happened.
Athlete.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Played at Amarillo High. I went and played at West Texas A&M.
Okay.
I walked on to WT my junior year. I played there 3 years. And I just kind of I just love basketball.
Yeah.
So I never stopped putting the basketball down. And after a few more years of just playing all the time, I saw the opportunity that Kendrick was going to be coaching this team. And so I'd been like working and training to try to go play overseas and play professionally. And so when I saw the opportunity, I knew God laid down a path kind of like he had my whole life with basketball.
Yeah.
And so I just went for it. Man, we went to like 5 tryouts. I mean, just so many tryouts, and I made the team. So that was last year. This is my second year. And I'm a small forward. I can guard lots of different positions. In college, I guarded centers who were like 6'10", 7 foot. So I'm only 6'2", and so I
beats my 5'5". But
hey. You know, it's not about the size of the dog in the fight.
I saw they
right?
have new shoes though. I can get about 2 more. I'm just saying. I'm thinking about it. I don't know.
You're gonna have to get you them red boots.
If I get,
man.
I got a ton of. I like dunks in it. So if I can get Nike to make something a little higher, I'm probably gonna go with it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you know, so Coach, you know, you obviously there's a little bit of a history there just because of the schools. You have something to bark at each other about. But
For sure, always.
But you know, What's the man bring to the team? That excites you.
When Garrett first came to our trials last year, one of the biggest things that has gotten Garrett in his career in general-wise is that he's able to guard multiple positions, like you said, but is his infectious energy. And again, like, the energy is great. But then he went through a phase of the season last year where he found out that your energy is amazing, but we need some production behind that as well too. And he had a great summer this summer when he came and talked to me and some things he wanted to kind of go over and get better at and improve at, and that's moved him around to more, honestly, his primary positions that he should have been playing his whole career. But with him being so strong and agile, it's like, no, you kind of just want to keep him around the basket, and that's beneficial to an extent, but it's not going to benefit him overall, right? That's not going to get him where exactly he wants to be. So like I told him, man, you got to put the work in to bring yourself away from the basket to give us security to do that, right? So, man, his energy, he's always ready. Like, Garrett, I don't know if Garrett started a game for us last year, and I don't know if he will this year. I don't know. But one thing I do know is he's always ready over there.
Yeah.
Like, he's never not ready. He's locked in every aspect to get out there and give us some value when he does. And even if it is a quote-unquote mess-up, he doesn't allow himself to just completely fall off the face of the earth to where we can't find him, and then we got to bring him back. So, yeah.
Coach, let me know about the ring.
So the best team in the NBA is the Los Angeles Lakers.
The
best player in the world ever is Kobe Bryant.
Agreed.
The GOAT is Kobe Bryant. So this ring is the replica of when they won the championship. Oh, you don't agree with me? It's okay. When they won the championship in the bubble, obviously with that whole process of Kobe's death and everything. So that was I told my wife, I said, I really want that ring, and so I ended up getting one. And then the funny thing is, I actually have two. I was gifted another one a few months later. So. Yeah, that's I only wear this ring when I want to feel important. I wore this ring.
You are important, Coach. You're on this show. I mean, come on.
I appreciate you. I was walking in the airport one time with this ring going. We're flying somewhere, and this lady, she told my wife, she said, "Oh my gosh, I am so jealous that you're married to him." And she's like, "Who do you?" I'm like, "Woman, I don't play in I don't play for the Lakers." But no, that's the thing about the ring is that with that whole process with the Lakers and Kobe, I had to have that ring in particular.
Yeah.
So that's what it is.
Kobe's special. He's I don't know if he's top 5, but he's special. But hey, I mean, it's funny the GOAT thing. It's like such a fascinating thing, and it depends on who you talk to about this thing, because you're like, well, do you measure it by championships or do you measure it by stats?
Yeah.
And I think you have to I think you even have to go sport by sport. You can't measure basketball the way in the GOAT status the way you do football.
That's true.
In football, like Tom Brady's the GOAT. He's got more. Why? Because he's got all the rings. Blah blah blah. Well, then you can go to basketball and you're like, well, there's debate. There's serious debate on who's the GOAT, and you're like, well, they don't have as many rings as Michael Jordan. But you're like, well, I mean, but you can make your point, and it's a fascinating debate. I just
it really is.
I'm 45, so. Michael Jordan was kind of like the beginning of when I understood basketball. Kobe was Kobe, and Luka is Luka, and
De'Aaron Fox is De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. I mean, Luka scoring all these points. He got nobody around him. Jordan and them, they scored all those points. They had Pippen. They had everybody around him. Mm-hmm. Kobe wasn't even the best player on his team. Shaq was better than Kobe.
That's crazy.
I'm just trying to. I like to stir the pot a little bit up here.
It's all love.
Coach, hey, I appreciate it, man. You guys really quickly. So you play again when?
So we kick off again this Saturday at 3 p.m. against Wichita Sky Kings.
Okay.
5 p.m. Not 3 p.m. Sorry,
all
5 p.m.
This owner Sammy over here.
Yes.
I think I'm going to have you. I think I've asked her. We're going to come back again in a couple weeks, so we'll chat with a few more players, get to know some people, and just let people know more about you guys. But I appreciate your time. Good luck to you guys the rest of the way, and welcome to the area. And hopefully we can get out and see a game or something like that.
For sure. Hey, please come out and support us. We appreciate all the support.